Hey folks, this is Noble Rambler, and welcome to a Let's Sample of Game Corp. This is Game Corp DX version 1.06, and it's kind of like a tycoon or a simulation of a game development company. So basically, you get a little office with two little guys in there, and you start to create games. And as you get better at it, you get paid more, you hire more people, your office expands, and you keep going. Let me read a little from the Steam description here. Build your Game Corp from scratch, make it into the best one ever. Train your workers to the max and create the ultimate game developer team. Start small by making micro games to give your workers experience. Publish your games, impress the critics, and beat the other studios at the Annual Videogame Studio Awards. So that is our goal. We're going to do a campaign mode here. I haven't done challenge, so I don't know what to expect there. We're going to name our studio Rambler Studios, and this is being recorded in Rambler Studio. Picked an icon for our studio. We're going with normal difficulty, and let's get going. I'm going to skip the tutorial. I've already gone through it once, and it takes a long time to explain what I could explain in just a few minutes. So we'll go this route. I'm going to go ahead and make sure we're running. Yeah, here's your speeds. So pause is actually the tilde on the keyboard. It says I'm trying to think of what it said. The back quote? I think that's what they called it, the back quote. I guess maybe that's what that other symbol is under the tilde. Anyway, 1, 2, and 3. So, yeah, back quote. There we go. Anyway, basically the workday is 8 in the morning till 8 in the evening. And we're at September 1st right here. Each day represents 1 month on the calendar. And let me go ahead and hit a pause here. So these are your workstations, your front door. They'll come in here. They'll go to their workstation. When you assign them a game to do, they'll congregate around the table and plan it all out. Then they'll go back and they'll work in their workstations. When they get thirsty, they waddle over and grab something to drink. They get hungry, they grab something from the fridge. And if they get tired, they start sleeping right there at their work cubicle. You click on the cubicle, and you get the opportunity to hire somebody. Each new month, you'll get 3 new people to choose from. This particular time, we got someone who uses the water cooler often, who is unfocused and produces worse quality, and regular trips to the fridge, so is hungry all the time. So each have their pros and cons. Some will actually have pros. We got all cons this time. So they're all the same wages. Less problems, their wages go up, and if there's benefits, then their wages really go up. So I guess it doesn't really matter who. Well, I think trips to the water cooler and trips to the fridge are probably the least disruptive as compared to produces worse quality. So we're going to go here for this guy, and we will do the same for this one. Did I get the wrong one? I did. Oh, we got the right one. So food guy and water guy. All right. So I'm going to keep this pause for, well, we'll let them walk in. Now, the game is kind of a timing thing. You want to get as many games in before this year is up. So he's on his way to work. He is Peter W. And Sam H. is on his way now. So Peter and Sam. So when they come in, he's already sleeping at his cubicle because he's got nothing to do. So let's bring him in. We're going to pause right here. We're going to create our first project. So, new projects. This is a hotkey of E. So we've got the variety of genres of games that we have at our disposal, and how much code or art or sound or writing each one depends on to do it right. As well, you have, I believe this is what is the general draw or interest of the public. Right now, everyone is really loving shooters. And next would be, what is their next number? Simulations they're liking. Oh, right over here, action. So we're going to go with a shooter. Pixel Portal. We get to pick our own name. Pixel Shooter. Alright, so that helps us keep track of it. Microgame uses a team size of 2 and grants you bonus experience. Small is a team size of 4, of 10, and of 20. So we are only qualified to do a microgame right now. We're going to do a shooter. We're going to give it that name. So we'll hit continue. And then we will assign Peter and Sam to the various projects. So who is this? This is Sam. So Sam, let's see. Let's give Sam code. And we'll give him writing. And we'll give Peter, we'll give him the other two, art and sound. Neither of them have any experience. These bars are empty, so we're not going to put out a very good game. But they're going to get a little bit of experience in each of these categories. So you want to try to give each one as much practice in his one or two, preferably one, category as possible. So that, although it may not be a bad idea to cross-train some of them, because you'll find eventually when you have several employees in here, you might have 2 of them working on a micro game and 4 of them working on a small game, and you may need to swap characters around a little bit, and pretty soon you don't have anybody who can do code. But if he had code as a secondary, at least has a little bit of experience, you get at least some benefit out of it. Anyway, we've got everything selected here for these 2 guys. We're going to continue. We'll be able to set up a training center so that we can train these guys on the various other steps of skill for each of the categories. And if you look at the names here, they're kind of funny. Writing, you start on Notepad, then you go to WordPod, then you go to Word, then you go to Writer. Or our Wave Creator, our Trout Loops, our Sound Frog, and eventually our Yodacity. Anyway, Photoshop. So they've kind of played with the names of different software out there that real developers use. So we do not have the ability to give them better equipment, better software to use, because they don't have the training to handle it. So using just the very basic stuff, and for all that they're going to need to do their job, we've got to spend $2,400. We've got $31,000 available to spend. So let's hit create. And Pixel Shooter, here's our progress. So we'll go ahead and turn this off. And this over here, Project Summary, will let us watch this as it happens. So we'll turn this back on again. And I'm going to be constantly hitting my space bar trying to unpause the game, because that's what I am used to in so many other games. They're going to walk over here and huddle around the table and start throwing ideas back and forth. They're discussing what the code is going to be all about. And this is the quality level. Maybe you'd call this the meta score of what we're creating. And so far it's quite low. Go ahead and speed this up a little bit. So they have come up in pre-production of a score of 7, and they're going to add to it now as they kind of refine their ideas. And eventually they're going to... Oh, he's got to go get a drink of water. Okay, got to get back there and start working. Okay, get to work on there, and almost done. Oh, he's got to get some food. No, he's thirsty. He's got to go back over there. So, now he's hungry. Okay. What is that new movie out? It's like a Pixar kind of movie. My family was watching it the other day as I was walking through the living room. There was a scene where like 2 police officers were heading into the into a place to get a license plate checked out, and it turns out everybody behind the counter were sloths. And she's trying to say, "No, check out this number, and here's the number," and they're slowly doing their work. And these guys are walking back and forth. They just kind of remind me of the sloths from that scene. Anyway, the game auto pauses when a game completes, because you want to get as many of these done before the year is out, and you don't want to be thinking about other things and find out that game ended a month ago and you could have had another game going. So it's good to set it to auto pause if you have a choice of that in the options. So we have completed Pixel Shooter and came up with a final score of 26. A good game for a micro game is probably between 50 and 100 stars. So this is a pretty low quality game. we're going to publish this one. And we could give it a small budget to market it and see if we couldn't push it out a little bit. It might help a little bit, but I'm thinking we're going to save our money for the next game when they actually start going in with a little bit of experience. So can I choose that? Sam has got a little bit of code experience now, and Peter has got a little bit of art and sound experience now. Okay, so they'll do better next time is what that's trying to say. So we're going to say no marketing budget and just publish it. We're just going to take the experience and say thank you. Meanwhile, the critics are going to get a hold of this and just tear us up. So total crumpet, just another game gone wrong. Pixel shooter brings nothing new to the table. VGN, if you have $5 to spend it on something other than this garbage. Boulder paper shotgun. Well, if you think you've seen every bad game there is, there's a worse one. And Kotaku? Kotaku. Games of this quality belong on the freebie trash bin. Pixel shooter's horrible and no one should get near it. Alright, so basically nobody liked it. And that's probably typical of small development companies trying to come up with their first games. How many games are on Steam right now for less than $1? Kind of the same sort of thing. So, but they tried. We're going to give them another game to do. And actually, no, we're not. We're going to do something a little bit different. Build mode. I'm going to show you this. So this button here is build mode. And you can see the different category of things to use here. We want to put in a training cubicle. Costs $6,000. But let's train these guys. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and put in 2 of them. That way we can get training done simultaneously and then get back to the next game really fast. Something else to consider, their productivity goes up when they have a nice environment around them. So if we were to put, let's see, that plant there, watch the difference when I click. So suddenly the area where they overlap is a much happier place. If I were to do this, alright, so they're going to be much happier doing their work over here. If I were to squeeze one more in, their training's going to go faster now. So it's a big expensive money, but I think in the end it pays for itself in increased productivity and increased quality. So what else do we have? Eventually we're going to get an office that's, well, eventually we'll fill the entire screen. Just nothing but office. So we're starting off with this one right now. Do we have the ability to expand? Yeah, we could expand as far down as over here. Pretty soon we're going to want to get 4 employees. So we're going to need to expand a little bit. When we do that, then we'll move things around and reorganize. But for now, I think that's all I really needed. So let's turn this guy off. That's what I want. Alright, so this is our training center, and I want to train Sam in code. And he's going to learn how to use United, or Unity. Train. I want to train Peter in... I don't know. Here's his skills right now. Should we make him the artist? Let's make him the artist. Train. It's going to cost us $2,000. When they're done, they're going to be able to do even better in their next game. So let's kick the speed back up and let's actually crank it up a bit. At 8 o'clock they go home. So we got some training in. And we're at the end of the month now. And this month our game made about $800. It cost $22,000 to do everything we did this month. So we're going to be going bankrupt here pretty soon at the rate we're going. We've got to get some skills up. We've got to get some better games out. So, okay, a lot of that expense, though, was in the building and the training. All right, so there's $18,000 right there. So this is what essentially we spent. That is not unusual expenditures. Alright, so we'll continue. Our speed is cranked up. We'll go ahead and leave it there for a while. They're going to train like crazy. Training in United and trading in Photoshop. Okay, slow it down. You're done. There you are, you're done. And you are getting there too if you don't need to get another drink of water. They're going to go over and sleep in their cubicles unless we assign them something, so I'm going to wait for him to get done. This thing edge scrolls, so if you get anywhere near the edge. Alright, so let's hit pause and let's give them a game. A game to work on. So we're still doing micro games. We need to publish a project. That is, we're going to get $35,000 as a bonus for accomplishing that. So the game does throw a bunch of bonuses at us. Hire a worker, that gives us $1,500. Hire a second worker, gave us a bonus. Build a training cubicle, it gave us a $6,000 bonus to pay for that $6,000 cubicle, but we put in 2, so. And this one, the award ceremony will be in 3 months. We want to see how many games we can crank out by then. And a new rival studio, Valampier, has just opened. And there's our loss for the month. So, what else do we have down here? Our global charts shows us all of the other game studios, how many studio fans they've got. Their highest quality is not much more than ours. Number of active games, we're both got 1 game on the market right now. Number of employees, we're the same. And we have not won awards, either of us, yet. They've got more money in the bank. And hopefully that means that we've spent more money on training and we're going to come out better. But we'll see. They're coming in with a fan base. We're having to create ours from scratch. So games, we put out Pixel Shooter, and 1 month ago they've just released their Throne Nuclear, which is a shooting game, shooter action game. Okay, and that's their symbol. We are the Star Trek communicator symbol. I'm not sure what that is. A ball with some kind of a marking inside. Alright, so sales were roughly the same. So we're kind of dead even, except for the fan base. Okay, turn that off. This is us specifically. So 2 workers, no awards, 1 game out. That's how much money we've got in the bank right now. We can take loans if we need to. A loan of $20,000, we'll have to repay $30,000 in 12 months. As we get different awards, one of the awards will grant us the ability to get cheaper loans, I believe. We'll see that when it happens. So we are in London right now. Graphs. This is our money balance. Okay, and our awards. All right, so we'll skip all this until it's important. Anything else we haven't touched on down here? View project statistics. That's kind of the same thing we've already seen. All right, and reviews, graphs, yeah. Okay, what's next? So we got to pick a game. Get these guys working again. We've got art skill, and we've got code skill. So is there a game that's got a decent attractiveness, a decent interest out there that concentrates mostly on code and art? We got code and art, but we've got a lot of writing over here. Here we go. Simulation, a lot of code, a little art, and only a tiny bit of the other two. That might be our winner. Anything else close to that? These two are a possibility. It was more art than code. I'm pretty sure our code was stronger than our art. So I think this is right. We want to go right here. Okay, so simulation. We will call it Dev Studio. Sure. This is a simulation. We'll go with that. In fact, this is probably a micro game from a Game Corp of another kind, you know? It's maybe one of their micro games that came out and hit Steam. So, continue. Got the title. We've got everything chosen. Continue. Alright, so, doing code. Yes. Doing art. Doesn't show me any other experiences, but I know that we had Peter doing the 2 middle ones, and we'll have Sam do the 2 outer ones. So maybe if we keep this pattern up, they can start building some secondary experience in there. So we're good there. Hit continue, and we will take advantage of our new found skills. So now we're going to go to United and Photoshop instead of using Paint. And create. This is going to cost us 9,000. It does go up when you use the better tools. You got to pay for the licenses and whatnot to use these things and to make money on them. Create. Alright, turn that off. Get our speed up. They're going to head over there to the table. If we go in this mode, then you see what I mean by the sloths walking in very slowly to get a drink. Then back to the table. And we're going to plan this game out. Can we actually get it planned out before another distraction hits? No. Gotta go home. Okay. End of this month. And this month, we've made a little more money. So the one game we did put out is actually selling. It's not selling very much, but it's selling. Didn't have any of these other unusual expenses. So with the new project starting and the salaries, we netted a loss of only 9,000 this time. So we're still surviving here. We'll see what happens this month. We got to sell this other game and make some money. Continue. So when we publish a project, if we can get it done this month, they'll give us 35,000 as a bonus. So that is done. We're going to walk over and start creating the game. But we got to get a drink of water first. Oh, we've got to get some food first. So if I were to slow this down, here's our hunger, thirst, and environment. I see when we cap out. So he's thirsty. Okay. And he is thirsty. So, no, he was hungry. I was looking at the wrong one. So he's taking care of that. So we'll go ahead and speed them back up again. And he fell asleep. Is he done? He's done. These were his projects. So he has taken a long time to get his done. I think the writing will go faster. Cause that's right, this game was code heavy. It was the most time was needed for the coding. Alright, he should fly through the writing because there wasn't very much to do. Okay, we'll slow that down, and it paused for us. Looks like this month we are going to get this guy published in time. Still in November. Publish. And let's give this one a budget. We got to 53 for a micro game. This might do us some good. So we'll hit publish and let's see what happens. Gained us 37 more fans. And we got not so bad this time. Dev Studio is nothing outstanding, but it is entertaining. VGN, poor mechanics, poor gameplay, horrible aesthetics. Dev Studio is a disaster. Boulder paper shotgun. Some say that Dev Studio has been in development for 20 years. Maybe that's why it's so dated and bad? Kotaku. This is just amazing. In a terrible way, that is. Asking for $5 for Dev Studio is highway robbery. Oops, we drifted here. Alright. But we got our 30-some thousand dollars. 35? We got 38 available now. While we're paused, out of curiosity, how are we stacking up to them now? Oh, they put out some pretty good games. We didn't. Otherwise, we're about the same, so when it comes to the awards, we're probably not going to win much this time. Games, quality 117. Is it possible to get in a small game? Let's hire Oh, I never thought about that. You know what we should have been doing? While they were doing their game, we should have hired 2 more and had them training. Yeah, I did not think about that. That's too bad. Let's get someone hired now. We have Lucas here, and we have Chris with a Superman and a black eye. Hire. Okay. You are going to train for, let's see, who are you? Your code and your art. So you, Lucas, are going to be Lucas. You're going to be sound. And Chris is going to be writing. Train. Okay. So they're going to be training while we are going to be making one more microgame. So let's get that going right now, not waste any time. That wasn't it. There we are. So another microgame, and concentrating again on code and art. It's another simulation, except now the market's kind of saturated with those, and they're not too interested. They really do want an action game, but we can't really give it to them. Not without really being pretty bad at it. Strategy is a possibility. So code and art, that's really the best one. How about art and code? Is there that sort? This isn't too far off. We'll kind of lose it on the sound, but we'll have, well, it's only a 46 though. Not a lot of interest. Okay. Yeah, we don't have the writing skills to pull this one off. We could do a puzzle. That's kind of middle ground on the hearts. And we've got these 2 skills. Let's do a puzzle this time. What are we going to call it? What are we going to call this thing? Oh, let's see here. Rambler Sketches. That'll be our puzzle game. Puzzle, name, micro, continue. Alright, so you are going to art and sound, and again you are going to code and write. And nothing else to choose. Nope, continue. Again, we'll use whatever tools we have at our disposal. It's going to cost us $12,000 to do this. And Nico's in here with me, and he is getting bored and starting to climb the walls. So, create. Alright, so we turn this off and turn the game back on. They're going to run over and start planning that one. We're going to see Chris and Lucas walking in. And they're going to go straight into training. And get that food first, though. These guys didn't have any problem or little ticks with them. They didn't have to. They're not going to have to. Oh, that's nice. He stayed late. You have to, no trips to the water fountain or food or anything else excessively. Okay, we have some training in there. Otherwise, we're doing okay. Continue. Well, okay, meaning we're surviving. Okay, so 8 in the morning. He's coming in first. He is... I guess they got their planning done. I didn't notice. Good. So we're in the month of December. So as your office grows, your access to the water cooler needs to grow, or they'll spend a lot of time walking around. Water cooler over here and here might be a good idea. So how's their training going? They're just about done. Then I'm not sure what to have them do. Probably just wait until January. Alright, so we've got a game completed. 64 score. That's better. We're going to publish. We'll use a budget on that one. Not much else to do here. Publish that. So, Rambler Sketches. We've got For the most part, Rambler Sketches is a very good experience for $5. You shall not be disappointed. Haha. So, VGN, don't expect anything good to come out of Rambler Sketches. It's one of the worst games around. Boulder, paper, shotgun, average. That's all. I could say more, but Rambler Sketches really doesn't make me feel anything else. And Kotaku, games this bad should be illegal. And there goes Nico jumping off the counter. Alrighty, so what else do we want to do with this? I'll tell you what, let's get to the award show, then we'll call this episode done. Then maybe I'll sneak in one more episode. If I can keep Nico from knocking things off my table while I'm trying to finish this. Let's give it some speed. And these guys have nothing to do. Is there any more training left to do? Everybody's up to 1. The only thing else we could do is cross-train, which might not be a bad idea. Sam doing code, you could train as writing. That's what we've been having you do. What am I not doing here? Sam, code. So why can't I have you train anything else? Are you only allowed to do one at a time? Oh, I guess I cannot cross-train you. I thought I could. Okay, so in that case, nobody else. So, Chris, writing, he's already got one, and you have to unlock it in a different place, right? Yeah. So, we are done with our training. Okay, so we're just going to wait this out. We have 7 days left. Not much for any of them to do. We'll wait for January to get all 4 of them working on a project together. So we've got our awards coming up here. They're heading home, and we'll see if we won anything. Okay, there's 8 o'clock. Monthly report. Whoa! We ended with green down here. Okay, so what was it, 3 games have made enough profit now to at least have overcome our monthly budgets. So we are coming out ahead. Continue. So the 2015 Video Game Studio Awards. Most productive studio. Cheaper wages. Oh, that's what we gain if we win this. We won it. Alright. So the wages will be cheaper from those that we hire, or possibly those we already have. I'm not sure. So give you specialization discounts. Most beloved studio is not us. Yeah, they got that one. Highest charted game. I think they had that one as well. Yep. Highest revenue studio. Gives a quality bonus. It might be us. No. Okay. The largest studio. And we just hired those last 2. A sales boost. Ooh, we got that one. So cheaper wages and a boost to our sales. And that's all for this year's edition. We wish the best of luck to all studios and hope to see them again in 2016. Continue. So I'm going to, I think, call this episode done right here. This is kind of a fun game. I think I do want to do a second episode of this Let's Sample. So I'll pause it here and find a way to hit a save, and we'll come back and do probably one more year and then we'll decide then if we want to continue on or not as far as creating a Let's Play out of this. So I thank you guys for watching. This has been Noble Rambler. Hit the like and subscribe down there if you haven't already, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching, folks. Bye-bye.